Kyrie, shooter.
Go ahead.
We got all kinds of cups around here.
Wait, hold on a second. We start?
Yeah, we started.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
First of all, I ain't got a hat on.
Who you are? Yeah, why you talking about my hair? At least I shaved.
Welcome
Look,
to As a Man
You the one
Thinks,
got the
y'all.
Stephen A. Smith line.
First of all, I ain't know that Kyrie was as young as he is. He a baby. You know what I'm saying? All that time I was messing with him, I've been bullying a baby. I need to stop. I want to apologize on air to you for all the times I bullied you. I didn't know you was as young as you are.
You don't bully me. You don't bully me.
Man,
Well, it was somebody that got bullied one time, but we ain't gonna go there.
shout out, shout
All
out.
right, it happened right over.
Shouts out to
Happened right.
No.
this is crazy. I can't start no podcast like this.
Listen, we had sponsors over here that ain't part of what we giving. We got all kind of stuff in here. Who knows what's in these red solo cups? But nah, shout out to our producer who put us on the spot. Welcome back to As a Man Thinks. I am Deshaun, Vice President.
Courtney, president.
Kyrie Treasure.
All right, so we found it. Kyrie Young. We was actually talking about the subject of 9/11, where we were at 9/11. So I was actually at home. Courtney said that he was in Atlanta and Kyrie was still in daycare. So we were all just trying to figure out what was going on.
I was in the 10th grade. I was in social studies class.
That's crazy.
Just
Kyrie was still in high school during 9/11.
That's crazy.
Social studies class when it happened. They pulled the whole school came to the gym and we was watching it on the TV.
Kyrie, you know that ain't true, bro.
It is true.
It's not true. You know you was on the hallway crying.
No.
Talking about you want your mama and daddy to come pick you up.
No.
Come on, man. Come on now. Look, 9/11, first of all, it's been 22 years since that happened. That's insanity. It don't even feel like it's been that long, man. It feel like it just happened. I was in Atlanta doing some training for Popeyes when that happened. When they hit the first building, I was in a corporate building, and they evacuated the whole building, told us to go back to our hotels, and it was just.
Notice how he tried to make slide himself like he important and he was in a corporate building. Nobody cares if you was in a corporate building. You was in Atlanta doing some training. That's it. We didn't even know all the other stuff.
You was in the
I was
hood.
in a corporate
You was
building.
in the hood and in your
I was
elementary school in the
in-
hallway crying. Okay? You mad about that, dog?
Oh,
I'm just saying.
oh.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm good.
Look, I'm speaking on where I was. How you gonna speak for me?
You told us where you was. Then you had to
Okay, but
you was in a corporate building like somebody
Look.
you said. I was in Atlanta doing some training. That's all people need to know.
No. First of all, I said I was in a corporate building
Why?
because when 9/11 hit,
You wanted to
it hit a corporate building. So I'm relating that to the fact of I was in a corporate building at the time, and who knows? They could have diverted the plane and came to Atlanta. You don't know.
You don't either.
I know one thing, they weren't finna come to your elementary school and hit that.
Wasn't in elementary.
I'm just saying, man. You know, Kyrie's a baby. Okay.
Deshaun, where were you? Yeah.
Listen, no, I'm just laughing because Kyrie was still in daycare during that time. But no, so 9/11, seriousness. Man, reality, I actually was on crutches. So I was trying to my wife who we were married to at the time, we were dating, she was in college, and I thought I was He-Man. So, you know, we were walking back from her cafeteria and she went through the fence. There was a fence that was blocking it. But of course, when you know, I was 20, maybe 21 at the time, you want to show off. So she goes through the fence. You know what I had to do? I'm gonna go over the
Trying to
fence.
jump the fence.
So no, I didn't jump the fence. It was a 15-foot fence. I climbed
We got stuck at the top.
I climbed over the fence. And what do you do to get to the top of a fence that's 10 or 15 feet high? What do you do?
Jump down.
Right. So at 22 years old, I jump off the fence and I
Didn't know how to balance yourself.
messed up my knee. I messed up my knee.
You don't know how to jump.
I was about to cuss for a second. I messed up my knee. I actually spent that, I want to say September 11th, I think it hit on Tuesday. I spent that Monday in the hospital getting my knee looked at. The next day I woke up and I actually couldn't go nowhere. So I'm, sitting at home watching TV. And no matter what you was watching, I know I wasn't watching news, but no matter what you were watching, once the first tower hit, everything went towards what you were watching.
You was watching something else, guys. You even interrupted
Nah,
that program. That's correct.
Yeah, that
You even
program.
interrupted that program.
Might be right. I might have was watching that.
Man, you mad? You got something gonna get him. What's going on? I know y'all ain't gonna interrupt me right now.
Let me move this lotion around. Take this lotion away from us. Somebody come in here and see what's going on. But real talk though, so I ended up calling my wife she wasn't my wife, and my girlfriend. And I asked her, and we talked about this all the time. I'm like, hey, you watching this? And she said, watching what? I said, they just hit the time. She said, what channel? And my answer was all the channels, like no matter what channel, turn it on. She turned it on and actually turned it on like 2 or 3 minutes later, the second plane hit. And
But I just got a question for you. When you jumped the fence,
right.
and you felt yourself coming down, and you knew at that moment you had effed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when you knew you had. Try to jump down and break yourself.
I mean, once you got to the ground, how that make you feel, dog?
Well, you wouldn't know as bad as what you try to play it off, but I couldn't play it off. I'm
good.
I'm like, hold on. So I had to I could get an ambulance, but I actually had to call me a cab. To take a cab to the hospital because my knee was messed up.
Big old yellow cab pulling up, take this dude to the hospital because he didn't mess his knee up.
Yeah, real talk. I promise you, I'm not lying. It was Pine Manor College.
I ain't never heard this story, y'all. I promise y'all. This is the funniest thing ever.
Pine Manor College. I was at Pine Manor College right down the street in Needham, Mass. I had to go to Brigham and Women's Hospital in a cab because I messed my knee.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But look, I'll tell y'all this. I remember that day because, as we were leaving from this corporate building and we were going back to our hotels, the first thing we thought about was we got to take a plane home. Because at that time I lived in Missouri. So I'm like, we got to take a plane home. So now we're trying to figure out, do we get on a plane and go back to Missouri, or do we rent a car and drive back to Missouri? But the most outrageous thing was, so me and my brother decided, okay, we're going to take the plane. Okay. And you guys know 22 years ago, back then, when you get on the plane, they increased security like crazy. Everybody was getting patted down. I mean, it was insanity, right? But, we were terrified, and at the time.
I'm sorry.
No. We were terrified at the fact, okay, we got to go on this plane. So we get on the plane, every person that looks suspicious, we looking at them.
Right.
Like, yo, I wish you would. You're doing on this plane today, it's going down.
Right.
So my brother looking, I'm looking. Anybody that looks suspicious, we just got eyes on them the whole time on the plane. But, end of the day, we made it back safe and everything back to Missouri. But man, it was a rough time in the United States, man.
Yeah, we're clowning and joking, but it was a very serious situation. But I will say this about African Americans. We weren't the most hated people at that time.
No.
We definitely can go a lot of places. People look at us and they feel more comfortable with us being on the plane. Like, oh
yeah,
we got these ninjas on the plane, so we all right.
Heck yeah.
But no, so in all seriousness, man, I mean, you look at what changed from 9/11, right? Our military increase. I mean, you ended up joining the military after that.
No, I mean, I think the other thing that changed is he actually graduated from elementary school, and then after he graduated from elementary school, then they asked him to come to the military, right? You went right into the military, right?
I went right to the military, man. I graduated. I graduated in May, and like 5 days later, I was gone. I was going off the basic training, so I went straight.
But if you look at the numbers of the people that increased after 9/11, it's staggering. there were a lot of people who were, who say inspired is the word, but they were encouraged to get into the military once 9/11 happened.
I mean, the military was desperate. They took him. I mean, you know, any other time, they would not be counting on Kalanji to get into the military. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why. How long you last? Couple years. Couple years, and they was like 3 years. They was like, peace. We good. We safe now again. We don't need you, bruh. We just took you for that short time.
Well, shout out to my brother Kyrie for serving though.
Hey,
Shout
man.
out to all
Thank you,
you.
man.
Because he was too scared to go.
Thank
Shout
you
out
for
to all
your
you all who did serve as well. So did you get to actually go overseas and?
Kuwait,
Wow.
Was you scared?
not in Kuwait.
Tell the truth. You weren't scared?
No.
When you went into the military and you first signed up, was you excited or was you scared?
I was worried. I ain't gonna, I was bothered, especially like during that time because everybody was getting shipped out. Like you wasn't going just to go.
This ninja right here,
Everybody was
Downey
activated.
soft.
Everybody was activated.
He Downey
No,
soft.
I'm in the military fighting for our country, and this nigga coming out of corporate deal. So, you know, in Atlanta. So, hey, it is what it is. But yeah,
But look at what changed though. I mean, military changed, security changed, the way you can go through an airport changed, the gun laws changed. There's a lot of things that changed because of that one major event.
Bro, that's so true, cause you still can't even have no hairspray. You still can't even have no big bottles of lotion, which I know that affected him. You know? Big time that he only can take a little bottle of lotion. You know, my guy, he a big dude. He like the big bottle, you know, the gallon. So, you know, stuff changed, you know. So I know he has to deal with burns now. It's okay.
Courtney couldn't keep his sunscreen, so that's why he got blacker. So we understand that all those aerosprays didn't last incredible. But just think of that, guys. Think about the things that changed in our life since 9/11. Look at how we travel. Look at what we do. Look what goes on. Like nothing's the same since those one event. And then the question about it is, what was really who was responsible? There's a lot of theories out there. And I know you all have your thoughts on those theories, but what are your thoughts around 9/11?
Man, there's a lot of different theories.
What are your theories?
My theory,
Be careful.
yeah. Did it's crazy how, yeah, like you said, you can go ahead, because I probably need to think about it.
Let him think about it. I mean, was it planned? What? Who
Right.
did it?
Right,
Why did they do it?
right.
Who benefited? Somebody benefited. Who was that? And I ain't trying to say no names. In my mind, I got, some thoughts. But at the end of the day, there was a major sacrifice. People's lives were sacrificed. It was just, this is something that impacted our nation forever. Like I promise you, tomorrow you'll have tons of news people talking about, September 11th. You'll have tons of military people. They're gonna, everywhere there's a flag, they're gonna put it half mad because so many people was impacted. This day will forever be part of our history.
Yeah, I have my theories, and of course you want to be, cautious about what you say. But in all honesty, I mean, to think that many people came onto our plane, it's hard to believe that some of that stuff wasn't planned, some of that stuff wasn't known, some of that stuff wasn't, it was executed almost too perfect. I mean, people flying into buildings and it was executed too perfectly. I mean, and then you see what happened with the the Pentagon, where
And I was just gonna bring that up,
there's
like,
so many theories.
you're not even supposed to be able to get close to the Pentagon without them shooting a plane down. Like, how did that even happen? I mean, you know, like
Flight
Sean said,
93.
it's a lot of.
Which Flight 93 is the one that ended up crashing, that shot down. They know that plane was going somewhere and, you know, they say the passengers, you know, took down the plane and, you know, diverted it from going wherever to which destination was. And,
Who was recording? Who was just actually, you know, all these camera angles? How many? Where they get these cameras from with all these angles? I mean, it's just a lot of things that you can really think of. You know, two planes. They ain't just take one. They decided they were gonna take two.
It was a third one too, right?
the third
Yeah,
one, Flight
The
93
third one
that
got
crashed,
shot
yeah.
down, but it was
Well,
three
that's
planes.
the theory. Was it shot down? Or they say that the passengers were the ones who took it over and the plane crashed because, but I mean, how did that affect the captain?
I mean, yeah, just keep the building in a way that where the whole building just crumbled. Just all of it just was just.
They say there were explosions that happened underneath the building.
Right,
First
to
time
bring
that
it all
9/11
down. was
attacked. So, I mean, I know people. I mean, I had a kid going, Biggie predicted 9/11. Like, no, he didn't. They tried to blow the.
No, he didn't.
They tried to blow it up years
The
earlier.
Simpsons predicted 9/11. Like the Simpsons predict everything. I promise they do. They predict that little submarine thing, bro. If you watch the Simpsons, they predict a lot of stuff, which is interesting.
Again, we're gonna go back to Kyrie was in daycare. during
No,
9/11.
You
That's
just
why
watch the
you see
Simpsons now.
his
I don't
theory.
watch The Simpsons, so
His theory is 9/11 and everything else predicted by the sun. Just understand.
yeah, that is some daycare stuff, dog. You know what I'm
Ain't
saying?
daycare stuff, but I'm
I'm
just
just-
saying, like, if you watch The Simpsons, they got Trump when he was elected president. They got a whole lot of stuff. Like they predict a lot. You be on Facebook and all that stuff. You see.
Bro, I don't see nothing that you're talking about. This is the first time I heard of The Simpsons. It's kind of like the comment. Do you know how hard it is to get off of drugs?
No,
Not at all.
No,
Not at all.
No, I don't.
I really don't.
I really don't.
We're gonna so we can talk about that too. We're gonna make sure that we make sure, Courtney, next time we have a broadcast, you cannot wear a black shirt.
Right.
Come on.
Boy,
Come on.
like,
Come on.
We
Come
need
on.
you to wear white.
Come on.
You gotta wear gray.
Come on.
You gotta wear
Come
pink
on, D.
or something. Whatever
Come on,
you
D.
gotta do, dog.
Look. Come on. I want him to come on today. All right? I've been sipping. I'm good today. I want him to come on today because we ain't gonna tell D to put his hand like this. So y'all can see them calluses on his hand.
Listen, my hands
We know.
are
We
good.
know.
My hands are good.
We know
man.
them little bottles. We know.
On that for years. My lotion stayed right. I'm good.
Look, and he don't get the cheap dollar store either.
Jergens is not working. Jergens is not working.
Nah, but man, I think, shout out to all the families, on the serious note that lost a loved one during that time. I mean, I cannot even imagine getting a phone call that I know that my spouse, my kids, or somebody that I love is on a plane and they're not coming back. I can't even imagine. So, again, my prayers go out to all the people that were affected in 9/11, because I know that even though it's been 22 years for us, for you, it's been 22 years of missing your loved one, 22 years or not being able to hug someone that you love or talk to somebody you love. And I know that still has to affect you today. We just pray that, you continue to get more comfort.
I mean, there's documentaries on, families that have lost people. That people who actually are still affected by being there, being in the area, the asphalt, all the debris and everything else. I mean, that one circumstance has affected not just thousands of people, millions of Americans. And I mean, it is a serious note. It is something that's serious to talk about. And shout out to everybody who's been affected by it, every family that's had to go through something with it. There's a lot of children who have parents, not just mother or father. I mean, they had double parents.
Yeah.
Who either worked at the World Trade Center, who worked somewhere, or had people on a plane and they left people. There's a lot of people affected.
You say they had like daycares or something like inside the building, like
Yeah,
there was a lot of kids that were lost. So
Yeah, firemen, polices.
parents dropped their kids off at daycare and went to work and couldn't find out their kids were. That's gotta be crushing.
So think of people who sat inside the building thinking that it was gonna be okay. Oh, it's gonna be all right. Well, no, it's just a drill. It's not gonna affect us.
Right. I can't even imagine. They were showing people, like, I remember, they were showing people jumping out the building. Like, it was crazy. People
What kind of
jumping out
hope
the
do you have to
building.
jump out of a 100-foot building, knowing that no hope? You're gonna be like me when you get to the bottom of that mud. But no, in real talk though, what kind of faith do you have to know that there's nothing else with it?
It's crazy.
Jumping to your death to avoid it.
It's insanity, man. I tell you what, I'll never forget it. It's something that, I talk to my kids about, and I would say, even more than that, that is one of the reasons when I'm leaving, I'm gonna go to work, or I'm going out of town, I really try to often tell my family, hey, man, I love you. Hey, I care about you, or hey, you're important to me, because honestly, man, those people left home that morning not knowing that they were not gonna return. You know what I'm saying? And every morning that you leave and you come back home and you make it back home, it's a blessing, man. It's truly a blessing. So you just can't take it for granted, because hundreds of people lives were affected in one day. Not one person, hundreds was affected in one day. And we're still not exempt from it. We're still not exempt from it. I swear to you, I thought that somebody would try to reenact that again.
Well, I think you always do. You always get on the plane, you're always looking just to see if there's ever going to be that situation. Or, not even 9/11, but look at when you go to restaurants or you go to shopping malls.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who's going to walk in and shoot up the place. You don't know who's going to do nothing crazy, but we look for it now. We're more cautious now. When we're somewhere, we're looking. Anytime we see something drop or something crazy or commotion happen, that was a high school game 2 weeks ago, and a bunch of kids started acting rowdy. The first thing everybody started looking, get the game, they're looking to see what the commotion is.
Right.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen. We've seen high schools get shot up, football games getting shot up recently. You just don't know. You don't know the situation that's going to happen. And it's changed how we do things. Everything's changed, not just 9/11, but the way we interact with things, the way we see things has changed dramatically. I believe we've become a country that's driven by fear based on that situation.
I agree with that.
But you have to. I think it's smart to. I don't think you go into a situation don't thinking that something's there. And think about it, these men took over that plane with box cutters.
It's insanity.
Not guns, not switchblades, not knives, but box cutters.
Insanity. But I think that, the people on the plane.
You didn't hear that?
No, I'm just trying to figure out how they know that.
Well, because they
Who
said,
survived to say these dudes had box cutters?
well, they had the box. You got the box in the plane.
Black box.
You got the
Somebody
black
said,
box.
"Oh,
You
we
can
got
hear- I'm sure they heard a whole bunch of voices, a whole bunch of commotion, a whole bunch of everything, but
They go
they
back.
didn't, I don't think that they knew. I don't think they knew that they just had box cutters. I think they thought they had bombs. Because they told them that they have bombs, and if you move, da da da. Well, if I am 40,000 feet in the air, and you telling me that you have a bomb, we're gonna blow up. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna react.
Right.
You're gonna have to prove to me that you got one, because, bro, if all I see is a box cutter, I'm gonna try to take your head off. And then we'll figure out the rest later. And I know that some people might think that that's reckless, because we have an opportunity to land the plane and everybody be safe, but those same people thought that they was gonna have that same opportunity.
Yeah, and I get it. I get the hypothetical. However, and we got hindsight, right? Hindsight is 2020. We know the difference. But when you're on that plane, are you thinking that? Are you thinking if I'm gonna be, as calm as I need to be if the situation's gonna know what they know? I mean, that's why you think with people on that flight 93, I don't know if that plane got shot down, but I think the people on there ready.
Yeah.
They're like, look, if we're gonna go down, we might as well, we already hear
Well,
other planes, yeah, we already hear other planes getting crashing.
Right.
We might as well just go ahead and do what we gotta do, because we ain't gonna be, taken advantage of. And at that time, there were movies of planes being hijacked and, situations where people committed. You kind of think that, all right, maybe this plane will get hijacked, maybe they want something, they're gonna negotiate it all and figure it out, but I think now we know.
Right.
You let somebody go on the plane try to hijack you now, we don't care what you say you got.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get the hell beat out of you.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see if you really do got something. I don't care if you got a gun. You got a gun, you ain't got but maybe 6 bullets, maybe you got 17, whatever you got. If you ain't gonna be able to kill everybody on the plane, you gotta prove you got enough to take out everybody.
I'm telling you. I'm just saying, man, you just gotta prove yourself, because at the end of the day, bro, I'm not one. It doesn't matter if we're on a plane. It don't matter if we at a football game. When it comes to protecting myself and my family, I believe that you blink out. I believe you blink out. And before you know it, you don't know what you're capable of doing and how you can rip somebody's head off until after you come to. But at the end of the day, if I gotta protect my family, there's no limitations to that. There's no limitations. I'm not gonna negotiate with you. It's just like me being asleep and someone breaks into the house, right? But that's a problem.
Right.
You're gonna stay. You're not getting, no.
Yeah,
I'm not letting you leave. I'm not letting you, I seen a video of this kid breaking into this house, and the kid had a gun, and the homeowner came out with a gun. And both of them was pointing the gun at each other. And the homeowner was telling them, hey man, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You made a bad decision.
You got the
know what I'm
wrong
saying?
house, yeah.
Come on, come in, let's talk about this, put the gun down, whatever. And he actually did. The young kid put the gun down and came inside, and they talked it out, and the homeowner didn't call the police and anything like that. Well, I'm telling you, I'm not that homeowner. I'm just saying I'm not him. You break into the house, you're gonna stay. You're gonna stay with me. Okay? Because I believe in the fact of I don't take nothing from nobody, do nothing to nobody, and I don't know if you're coming to harm me, and I don't know if you're coming back. And I don't want to take the chance of you coming back, and next time you get me and you catch me off guard, I don't want to take that chance. So that's right. That's me. You know what I'm saying? Please don't send me no hate messages. I'm not talking about doing nothing wrong. No, I'm talking about what the rights I have as a U.S. citizen to protect my family.
In your home.
In my home. Correct.
I mean, we got to stay. This is Georgia. Georgia's different. If you don't know, we live in Georgia. Georgia's a different state. So if you got other views and you feel what we're talking about is different, just understand it's what we're allowed to do. We got cities here where it's against the law not to own a gun. So just understand that fact.
I mean, if you come into Kyrie's house, I'm gonna tell you, he got a big dog. He got a big dog. And yeah. What kind of dog is that again?
King Corso.
King Corso.
Oh, you got a King Corso.
Yeah. He got a King Corso, so you're definitely gonna stay. Okay?
Definitely gonna stay.
And that King Corso is a monster. Like I seen that King Corso, that King Corso tried to rip the tree down to get to me. No.
That's dope. So the kids get to grow up around that. That's dope.
Love the kids, but she don't like too many people. She don't like too many people.
Well,
I
again,
was gonna go pet him,
nah,
but I didn't want to have to, put his dog down. So,
If you don't do that, if you had the gun,
or I, So I decided that I let them live. I ain't gonna do that to them.
That boy ain't go nowhere near close to the outside. I can see him from back here.
I was looking through the window. I was looking through the window, looking through the peephole. I cracked the door a little bit, but when the dog started shaking the tree, I'm like, you know what? I ain't even
Dog
gonna do that.
shaking the tree.
Shaking. Dog, I'm talking about a big tree.
How big is the dog?
She's pretty good size. She's probably about 110 pounds now.
Yeah, she big. Dog. And I'm talking about it's just all muscle, just arms, just like I'm looking at a dog, and all you see is neck muscles in the neck, like okay.
That's where Kyrie Jr. got it from.
Inside joke, guys. You had to be there. You had to be there. 'Cause what Courtney doing now? That's what got my attention. It was, man. It was,
Oh,
it
God.
was, it was bad.
Well, look, Kyrie, man, tell the people how, man, they can connect with us.
Y'all can connect with us on asamanthink.org. Again, don't forget, we're going to Chicago, so anything that you can give us, we are definitely going to take that. You can also listen to us on Spotify, which that is Brother Deshaun's preference, riding to work, getting to Spotify. Please definitely like, share, subscribe.
As a man thinks. Thank you for joining us. Peace out.